She looked at you with a certain light in her eyes, and you felt it. Not just her attention, but something more, something deeper, something ancient. As if you had finally become the man. But what if I told you that what you saw in her gaze was never actually about you? That the love you thought you received wasn't love. It was projection, not her soul meeting yours, but her unconscious playing dress-up with your image. Carl Jung spent his entire life warning men of this. Not in flowery words, not in self-help cliches, but with surgical psychological precision. And here's what he found. Most women don't fall in love with men. They fall in love with the stories they project onto them. And most men, they fall in love with being chosen, even if they were never really seen. You weren't her lover. You were her screen, a canvas, an actor, a reflection of something unresolved inside of her. Something from her father, her past, her wounds, her unlived life. And here's the part that burns. She didn't do it on purpose. She didn't even know she was doing it. Because most people, men and women, walk through life completely unaware of the projections they cast. Jung called this the Animus, the masculine inner image every woman carries within her unconscious. And when undeveloped, unintegrated, or distorted, this Animus becomes a tyrant. Not just inside her, but through her. It speaks through her voice. It filters her desires. It crafts impossible standards no man can truly meet. Because she's not searching for a man. She's searching for her idea of a man. Her fantasy, her God, her shadow. And you volunteered. You stepped into the role. You tried to be the hero she dreamed of, the lover she imagined, the savior she never had. But here's what Jung understood better than anyone. Every projection is an unconscious confession. She wasn't loving you. She was using you to meet a part of herself she hadn't yet faced. And you were complicit. Because no one ever taught you to see it, to feel the subtle pressure in her gaze that you must be more, stronger, wiser, more mysterious, more successful, more perfect. And so you started editing yourself. Not because she asked you to, but because you were addicted to her validation. You became her fantasy. You stopped saying what you really thought. You stopped setting boundaries. You avoided conflict. You tried to be predictable, lovable, safe. But do you want to know what's truly tragic? The very moment you made yourself safe was the moment she began losing interest. Not because she's evil, not because she's broken, but because her unconscious animus wasn't looking for a safe man. It was looking for a myth. And the myth demands sacrifice. Your sacrifice. Jung said it plainly. As long as you are not conscious of it, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. That is projection. You're not being chosen. You're being recruited into someone else's unresolved story. And here's where it gets darker. When you no longer serve that projection, she doesn't adjust the story. She replaces the actor. She leaves. Or she stays physically, but withdraws emotionally. And you're left confused, betrayed, thinking, what did I do wrong? But you didn't do anything wrong. You just stopped playing the role. You stopped being the illusion. You became real. And real was never part of the script. And this is where most men either collapse or awaken. Because now you have a choice. a choice Jung believed every man must face. Will you continue chasing projections? Will you keep molding yourself into whatever shape you think women desire? Will you live as a mask? Or will you choose the path Jung called individuation? The path of becoming whole, integrated, real. It's not an easy road. It demands that you face your own shadow. The weak, the wounded, the bitter, the insecure. It demands that you stop blaming women and start confronting the boy inside you who never felt good enough. That boy, he's the one who tries to earn love. He's the one who says, if I'm just strong enough, if I'm just kind enough, if I perform well enough, she'll finally choose me for who I am. But she can't, because you never showed her who you are, only what you thought she wanted. And now, you don't even know the difference. That's what happens when a man forgets his soul. He becomes a mirror, reflecting whatever others project. Until one day, he looks in the mirror and sees nothing at all. Jung said the man who refuses to individuate will live a borrowed life, a hollow one, and he will be punished, not by others, but by himself. Every day, in every failed relationship, in every quiet moment where the emptiness echoes. But there is a way out. It begins when you stop asking to be chosen, when you stop chasing love, when you stop performing, when you sit in the silence, alone, unloved, unseen, and decide, finally, to become. Not for her, not for anyone, but because the alternative, a lifetime of pretending, is a slow and spiritual death. And here's the paradox Jung uncovered. The moment a man no longer needs to be loved, he becomes impossible to resist. Not because he manipulates, not because he dominates, but because he radiates something rare. Wholeness. The woman who meets this man, she will know the difference, because he will not beg, he will not prove, he will not play, he will stand fully, and she will feel it. A presence unmoved by fantasy, untouched by her projections, and she will do one of two things. She will run, or she will awaken. She will either cling to her illusion, or she will burn it. And if she burns it, if she faces her own animus, if she does her own shadow work, then and only then can love be born. Not the love of fairy tales, but the love of truth. A love where no one plays a role, where no one wears a mask, where two whole souls meet in the mystery of what actually is. And that, Jung said, is the rarest thing of all.